I'm Tara Green, and I'm a professional psychic, a tarot reader, an astrologer. I do numerology, tea leaves, I read lip prints. I've been doing this for 27 years professionally now, and I really love what I do.
Hi.
For me, I always remembered that there was always all these other dimensions going on from the time I was very young. So to me, it was like I knew I didn't just come from here. So I remember one of my first memories was that I was like 3 years old and having a temper tantrum on the floor because I realized my parents didn't know anything and they couldn't teach me anything, and it was very frustrating to me. So I just always was seeing things and having prophetic dreams and just knowing that spirituality was the real thing, was as real as anything else you could touch. And so it was just always something that was totally natural to me. People think as you're psychic, it's generally on all the time. I have to remember that I'm also always picking up on what's going on in the world. So often I'll wake up in a state and go, what's going on? And I'll know kind of astrologically. And so for me, it's about trying to stay grounded. I mean, that's my personal thing, everybody's different, and I know my own temperament, so I tend to get very I'm out there all the time. Do you know what I mean? So I need to walk, I need to get out of the house, I need to do some stretching, I need to do breathing exercises and things like that just to stay grounded.
What is the significance of your dress?
Oh, my dress, okay. Traditionally, spiritual people usually have their head covered. I mean, it's an old thing that you're not supposed to have you can't take on the light of God. In the Bible, they talk about it that way. I mean, this hat's a very special hat, and I like it because it's like a fool's hat. And in the tarot, the most powerful card is the Fool. And every time that you first have a tarot reading, you're considered to embody the Fool, and the Fool is the symbol of enlightenment. Because in the tarot, the Fool represents the inner child, the divine being living fully in the now. So it's about, kind of having no preconceptions about things. It's a costume. I get into my costume, I wanted people to recognize me, especially this is for a corporate thing. So I walk in, everybody goes, oh yeah, you're the, yeah. So it was more like that, and it just makes me feel kind of like I'm, it's like you're putting on a robe, it's not my usual kind of dress, you came here the other day, it was very casual, but, when I go out to an event or, not necessarily when people come, but, so it's just what I like to wear, that's all. And I have different costumes for different things, so I have a whole collection of things, actually. Gala, are you going to come out here? Hey. Gala. Okay, we had this very beautiful half Siamese, half Russian blue cat, a male cat, years ago. He was very aggressive. He was like a little mini cougar or something like that, and he used to attack my daughter. And then he kind of stopped doing that, but he was an outdoor cat, and unfortunately he got hit by a car on a full moon in Pisces, I remember. And so I remember saying to the cat that he should come back in another form. And anyway, so it took us months. We were looking for cats, kittens. We kept going to the Humane Society and kept looking around. And then finally we saw this little kitten, and she was only about 6 weeks old. And she had this little third eye marker and these kind of funny two little moons on her lips there. And I went, oh, that one. And she was quite shy and skittish. But the minute we got her home, when you usually bring a kitten home, they're usually all scared and they go panic and they hide. And she just came and sat in the middle of the kitchen floor there and just kind of sat there and licked her little paws. It was like, I'm home. So we always felt that, this was the cat came back. And she will actually answer to that other name. So that's kind of funny. And she likes to come around when people are here. And she's kind of like my psychic litmus test for who's the good people. She's been coming around a lot while you guys have been here. So. My husband used to go to Arkansas, where a lot of crystals are mined, and he went into the mine, this was like years ago, it might be in the early 80s, and crystals were 50 cents a pound in those days, and you go in the dark and you kind of have all this equipment, you dig it out, so you don't even know what you're getting, and it's all covered with all this black stuff or red stuff, whatever the earth is, and you have to use very toxic battery acid to clean it. And then he found this beautiful double terminated crystal. He used to sell them when he lived in New York years ago, so, and make jewelry with them and stuff. So, yeah, but we've always used crystals for a long, long time. Well, I mean, these days, the way it is, you have to have an online presence, and so I do a lot of writing. I usually write on my blog every day. I write about astrology or what's going on or whatever I write. You know, I'm Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff. So, which I really like. Twitter, the Twitter astrology thing is really big these days. It's just, you know, you have to be savvy with it. You know, you can't avoid it these days. That's all. You know. I didn't intend to be a professional psychic. I started out as an artist, actually, but it was always something that was there, and I've always studied it, and I really like to help people, you know, and really it is counseling. It's support work. I have ongoing clients I've spoken to for years and years and years, and I just feel like it's another way for people to find their way, or they feel lost, or they want some direction, or why are things so crazy in my life right now, and just trying to help them find some pointers, or give them some positive energy, you know, to go on, or to help them really just understand, you know, and take responsibility for why things are going on in their lives, you know.